Thank you. Ms. Ford.
Thank you. I am supporting this resolution. First of all, a lot of countries, European countries, ban these things entirely. They ban them, and there's a reason they're doing it. As the evidence mounts up, they're finding that there are problems. I'm not going to go into all of that because it can keep us here for days. I wish to, with due respect, correct Mr. Onishi. There's a difference between growing something organically, which means you're not adding pesticides and you're not adding inorganic fertilizers. That's the difference between an organic and inorganic. You're using only natural fertilizers. You're using no pesticides. You're using natural methods to fertilize and to inhibit the pests that would eat your crop. That's completely different than a GMO, which is genetically modified. My objection to GMO is not only because the evidence is continuing to mount against it. It's because, in my opinion, the science is not where it needs to be on manipulating these things. When you take a shotgun approach and bust a bunch of genes into a seed, that is not a strategically, surgically placed something like when you make a medicine and the chemist can say, I want a hydroxyl ion hanging here on the thing. Totally different. You're talking about something very surgical, very strategic versus something that's basically pellets being shot into the thing and putting genes that God knows where they're going to be located in the DNA structure. And that's what seems to be causing the problem. So I don't support it. I needed to make that clarification between organically grown and GMO, quite different things. Now, regarding GMO, when you print something, if I print this piece of paper and I add 3 letters to it, GMO, does it cost any more? No, it's inconsequential. We all know it's inconsequential. They don't want to do it because they're afraid that what happened in Europe is going to happen here, that people are going to say, it's GMO, I don't want it. There are some of us, when I say us, I'm talking the United States, that some of us are not reacting well to GMO products for a variety of reasons. And so those people truly need to know, because they may have a food intolerance, they may have a food allergy, they may have something that causes a systemic reaction. We can all read about that. I'm not going into those details. But if Monsanto and other companies are so proud of what they're doing, label it GMO. If you're not proud of it, then you don't want to put it on your label. And that's the problem. They're trying to hide information from people who truly need to know what they're eating. It may not make a difference to some of us, but to a few of us, it makes a tremendous difference. So I support this legislation. I think that we need to keep doing this. I think we need to contact our legislators, because the money is talking at the state level. The people are being disregarded unless they got deep pockets of money. And I think that is a gross miscarriage of justice in this state, that we, at the state level, would allow this to go on because the money's talking instead of listening to our constituents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.
Thank you. I think Mr. Ilagan is discussing what's called the terminator gene. It isn't used in things like perennial crops, like a tree, an apple tree, but it is used on annual crops to force people to have to buy the seed every single year. What the terminator gene does is prevent the seed from sprouting. So if I grow green beans today and I have green beans for the table and I let some of them go, what we call ripen to seed, so I can plant it again the next year, those seeds won't sprout. That's the terminator gene. And so the plant itself will die because it's an annual type plant, but the seeds won't sprout. And it's very dangerous because we could be wiped out of a particular crop and then may not have access to seeds. There are companies that grow organically grown seed, so it's still available. We need to start looking at that. I'm going to ask another assignment possibility here. That Ms. Willie, I think we brought up something that's really important. We probably should be sending a resolution to the U.S. Congress. Our state has been resistant, I hate to use that word, but they are resistant to dealing with this issue, and I think we need to start doing state and Congress, so I would ask you to do that. Same thing, just address it differently.
Thank you, Ms. Ford.